This is one of my favorite ones that you sent over. God is a DJ by Faithless.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this one's good. So yeah, the block of questions that we're going through now are kind of all the things that you really love. So the Walking on Sunshine represents your love of travel. God is a DJ by Faithless. This song represents your love for art photography. Now, I know that you want to differentiate your art photography from your, I guess, maybe commercial photography. So let's talk about your art photography.
Yeah. So, most people have like a hobby or a side, project or gig or whatever, like another kind of passion. And for me, photography was just both. It was my job and my passion, my side project, if you will. And then what I've done over the years now, I think I have about 26. I was actually counting today because I was like, maybe he'll ask me this question. And shit, I have no idea what the answer is. So I think I have like 26 working cameras from the very first one that I bought in New York City 26 years ago, all the way to, the very upmarket high-end digital cameras that I use now. But for my art, I try as much as possible to shoot film. I did a little bit of darkroom study and worked in the darkroom, exposing black and white film predominantly, a little bit of color work in there too, but I really, really love the contrast of black and white and the way that you look at a picture differently because it's black and white versus color. Color, you see the vividness and the colors and the patterns and the stuff like that. But when you remove that, you kind of look deeper into a picture and you start to see shapes and forms. And that's what I really love to focus on. So for my art, I work with the human body. It's mostly female, but there are some men that I've worked with that are comfortable being nude. But I try and make sure that the female body is represented in a way that it's kind of like abstract and conceptual in form. I love just sort of like pushing the boundaries and doing things that are a little different, like kind of the series that I'm fairly recently just completed was with a very old macro camera, and I was shooting through crystal stemware and glassware with a human body kind of like behind it, so that you could see that the body was there, but it was like very blurry, and then some sort of little part of the body was in focus in the glassware itself. And I created a really unique series. I called it Refraction because it's kind of like the process of bending light, which is what the word refraction kind of translates to. So for me, that's my art. That's my passion. I've got a full studio. I love to shoot on location. I'm also a trained diver, so I've done a lot of underwater photography, and underwater is amazing. The only time I really entered an international competition for art, I entered one of my underwater prints, and I got silver finalist. And I'm going to start pushing a little bit more of my art here as I sort of slowly fade out of my sort of commercial job photography world, because I do a lot of events and a lot of advertising, marketing images, and they're great. I really love what I do. But the creative push in me and the passion really is to like focus on my art. And I'm getting closer and closer to a time where I can dedicate more time to it, because it really is just kind of like it's the side hustle, but it's still kind of like the hustle that I would love to pursue full time.
Yeah, man, that's
wow,
awesome.
Look at that. Perfectly timed with the ending of the song. It's like I did this before.
Yeah, I love it when that happens.
Isn't that great?
But I do
I do have a song.
Yep. I have an anecdote, I think you would call it, and I have a question. I'll ask the question first.
I got you.
Do you know what the current status of being able to show female nipples on Instagram is?
The current status is you will get banned.
Oh, really?
I mean, they're changing some things. Yeah, they're changing some things. The whole Free the Nipple movement was and still is pretty active. There's been some talk of changing. I don't know that they've really pushed it. I censor everything. I don't want my account banned. It's taken me years to push a followership, and I don't ever really do anything that isn't censored. I would love to. I've considered actually putting a Patreon or an OnlyFans page together when I can really pursue my art full time, so that I don't have to censor anything. And I do have a website where I can put stuff, so there's always access to the uncensored versions. But I have been shadow banned several times and had my Facebook and Instagram page taken down for a week, and they threatened to do that several different times, and you just kind of like freeze back and say, holy shit,
I feel that.
It's taken me, I got 12,000 followers, and man, that took a long time to just maintain and push. And for somebody just to be able to say, I'm going to flip the switch and cut you off because of a damn nipple is just like the most stupid thing in the world. I could show mine, and like no problem at all, which is just ridiculous.
That's the thing. Like, I hate it. Like, you can go on TV or any social media and see pictures of like big old hairy, sweaty man boobs. And not a problem, but you can't see your nipple on it's like, come on, man. I'm offended by the big, fat, hairy, sweaty man boob. And now for
who
the
wants to see that?
Which nobody. But do you remember it was another Gap event and you were showing your art, and we went back to my father's house afterwards. We're sitting around having dinner, and my dad starts talking about which photo of yours was his favorite photo. And God bless his soul, he picked the one that was his daughter. My sister, your wife.
My wife. Yeah. I actually don't know to this day if she really even knows that. Maybe she remembers it, but yeah, he was like, oh, that was a great one. And I just had to look at him and be like, yeah, that's right. That was a good one.
Oh man!
Yeah. My dad said the same thing though. There's one of we've recently redecorated my house, and we had some tenants in, and it didn't work out. So we were kind of like moving back in and renting and clearing some stuff up again. So it used to have a lot of my artwork just hanging around in the house here, but we've just kind of put everything into my studio downtown now. And there's one print still in the house, and it's the one of my wife, Jess, your sister. And my dad was like, oh, that looks great. And I was like, look a little closer, Dad. It's like she's body painted gold in a swamp with backlight, and it's like, so it's really hard to see her face, it's kind of shadowy.
Yeah.
But, definitely.
Hey, better your dad than mine, I'll tell you that much.
Well, yeah, I guess. Like, it's funny.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right.
One day it'll probably be my son alone, just going, hey, who's that on there? Who's that on there?
Yeah, she looks great. That's your mom, great, bro.
Yeah. Just wait for him to become a teenager. Oh, geez, that'd be bad.
Oh, that would be.